You know, I hope that you're happy for what you saw yesterday, but all that did was prove me right. I saw more people rushing to the defense of somebody or rushing to attack someone and cheering and high-fiving, yet we can't get large groups to talk about the issues that we're going to talk about today. Why is that? It seems like everyone's addicted to drama and not taking care of the real issues that make us as a community become better. So we can get after the people who hinder this, which is definitely something that needs to happen. But you have to also understand, when I'm showing you the truth and I'm showing you clips, actual clips of these people saying these things, I don't even know how you can defend that. You're acting as if I made it up out of thin air. Are you that much in denial? Is your ego that large? Are you that blind that you're following another person and decide that you're going to go to bat for them? And because of all this, I've told you time and time again, because of the way people behave on here, the gaming community, people are watching. And every time I tell you that, you know what I get? They're not watching us. You're paranoid. You know what I mean? We don't care. We're badasses. Who cares what they think? No. Understand, you can't keep writing articles off or writing reports off. Do we know they're wrong? Yes, we do. But we have to address it. You can't just sit here and say, well, that's a bad article. Don't even worry about what CNN is saying or Fox News. No. Because people outside of this gaming community, they listen to them. And they make all of us look bad. And they look at the people who act up, and that's what they go with. You have to understand you're always being watched. And that's what we're going to talk about today to start. About online trolling. And are they really everyday sadists? Now, first off, let me say this now. I think that is quite a harsh label. I don't think that online trolls are sadists. I mean, are they fucking assholes? Yeah. Immature assholes? Yeah. Sadists? Nah, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. All right. So I want to talk about that today to start. And I'm going to talk about the article because it's interesting reading this article. And I'm going to try to break this article down, but understand during this article, when they go into detail about things and where they looked, I'm just like, you can't even defend. You can't defend people on it. Because what they're saying is absolutely true. That's the sad part. But we're going to talk about this right now. Okay? I really do want to talk about this. So, are online trolls everyday sadists? I'll put the link in the info bar for you as well. Okay? Because if you ever complain that trolls junking up online comment sections are a bunch of sadist psychopaths, you might be onto something. Wow. Just right there. So sadist psychopath, first off, we know it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, or even a doctor to figure out, that someone has a psychological problem. You can tell, all right? You can clearly tell. People wear it on their sleeve. However, it says an online survey by a group of Canadian researchers suggests that internet trolls are more likely than others to show signs of sadism, psychopathy, or psychopathy, whatever you call it, and Machiavellianism, which is interesting, in disregard for morality and the tendency to manipulate or exploit others. Now, to manipulate and exploit others, understand, you get a kick out of that. We've seen this plenty of times, all right? And not just that, but we've also seen it with our gaming ambassador, all right? She's guilty of this too. But let's keep going. It was sadism, however, that had the most robust accusations with trolling of any of the personal measures. It says in an article, psychologists from the University of Manitoba, University of Winnipeg, and University of British Columbia. In fact, the associations between sadism and ... scores were so strong that it might have been said that online trolls are the prototypical everyday sadists. Okay? It says sadism is a tendency to take pleasure in other people's pain or discomfort. Do you know what that means? That means if you are getting a kick out of hurting people, you've got problems. That's what it means. And there's a lot of people I saw yesterday that were very happy that another person took discomfort in what I did. And I also want to say that it also goes the other way because he took pleasure in the discomfort of others as well when he acted the way he acted towards those people playing games. You get what I'm saying? Now, it says the article was published last week in the journal Personality and Individual Differences. As defined in the article, online trolling is the practice of behaving in a deceptive, destructive, and a disruptive manner in a social setting on the internet with no apparent instrumental purpose. Yeah. Now look, we know online trolling, there is a purpose to what they're doing. It's not just, it's to feel their own pleasure. That's the purpose. So for them to have, say, there's no apparent instrumental purpose, and knowing in the end that it's going to keep going, that's the purpose, to keep it going. So they do have a purpose. Okay? It may not be one that you like, but it's definitely instrumental. It says, so, as opposed to cyberbullying, saying nasty things during an argument over politics or even making hateful comments that reflect the commenter's true feelings, trolls are offensive for the sheer enjoyment of it, or, in the internet parlance, for the lulz. Now, people, understand, for years I have tried to tell you that this is something that needs to stop. Not just, just trolling in general. Because for people who don't realize, there is positive trolling as well. We've seen racists get trolled to the point where they give out their information and then they get shut down. So there is positive trolling. However, understand, like I said, instrumental purpose. However, understand this. There are a number of people for years I have said, all I want you to do is take responsibility for your actions. All I want you to do is realize that this will be detrimental to our community. And you know what I get? You don't know what you're talking about. You suck. You're not really a gamer. Look, if you're still saying that I'm not a gamer after all these years, you need to just hang up your gloves now and call it a quits. All right? As far as I'm concerned. But these are the things that you get. You're never met with any, real discussion. It's just a bunch of just throwing labels at each other. And I told you before, that's what they want. Because the fact is, these media people, they want to see you like this. Where's the companies to help you on this? They're never around. They just want you to buy the systems and be on their network. Where's the developers on this? No, they're not around. They just want you to buy their games and be quiet about it. Don't complain about them either. All you understand is that this community, all we have is each other. But it seems like that's still not enough. There's always someone still trying to be king of the hill. All I'm asking for you is some responsibility. For years, that's what you've hated me for. Calling out responsibility, whether it's a YouTuber, whether it's a commenter, or whether it's a company or a developer. So you're mad at me for being a responsible adult and wanting you to be a responsible adult. Yet you want to be respected as a responsible adult without acting like it. Okay. It says, so, as opposed to cyberbullying, oh, sorry, we already did that for the lulz, didn't we? Yeah. Trolls operate as agents of chaos on the internet. Agents of chaos, okay? Exploiting hot button issues to make users appear overly emotional or foolish in some manner. Look, it's not just hot button issues, okay? To make people look foolish in some manner or overly emotional. Understand, what we do here is based off of emotion. I've said it before. The gaming community is the most passionate community you will see on here, on YouTube, on the internet in general. So, of course, they're going to be emotional. And then you have all these people, oh, you're being sensitive. No, you're being sensitive yourself, but you're also trying to label people. Again, when you are doing the same thing, whether you're for or against something, you're standing strong towards it. That's an emotion. If you didn't care, you wouldn't care altogether. You wouldn't even be online if you didn't care. But we'll keep going. The article reads, if an unfortunate person falls into their trap, trolling intensifies for further merciless amusement. This is why novice internet users are routinely admonished, do not feed the trolls. Okay? Survey respondents were asked about their internet behavior, including how many times they spend online and whether they comment in and it's highlighted, it says, places like YouTube or news websites. It says they also were given tests that measured responses against psychology's ominous name dark tetrad, narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and sadistic personality. Now, people, understand, I told you before, when you were being watched and people was like, I don't care, they're not going to watch it, I'm just one person out of millions and millions. Understand, this is now, it's gone, I'll play this. It's no longer a social experiment. You are under a magnifying glass. You understand that? You are now a lab rat. They are pinpointing specific places now. It's no longer just the internet abroad. It's not that anymore. Okay? Not to mention, now we're seeing NSA spying in your video games. That's right. That's a topic for another day. Okay? Not to mention net neutrality, and don't even get me started. Okay? Comcast buying out Time Warner. There is a lot that is going on. And it seems like you don't understand how it affects you. But let's keep going. Commenters who said they enjoy trolling other users more than other options, which they included debating topics and making new friends, consistently scored higher on the tetrad and displayed a tendency to enjoy trolling because it's pleasurable, the authors wrote. The questions asked to determine sadistic tendencies included, okay, I enjoy physically hurting people. I enjoy making jokes at the expense of others. And I enjoy playing the villain in games and torturing other characters. We're going to stop right there. Okay? First off, let me say this. There's no way that you can sum up, all right, sadistic tendencies with those three phrases. You can't. Playing the villain, a make-believe villain, and torturing characters, that's a tough one. Like I said, some of these are really tough to deal with when you're reading them, because it's like you are engrossed in that game. Sometimes the game, it gives you that decision, but you take that decision and you leave with that responsibility. And I think that's what they're trying to show you. They're trying to show you, look, if you play a bad guy and you're torturing kids or whatever, you're a bad person. That's the decision you made. Where's your responsibility? Where's your moral ethics? And then we have on the other side, we have, a lot of gamers who have played these type of games, including myself, that'll say, it's only a game. You shouldn't take it that seriously. But how far does this really go? How far does it bend into reality? Because as we see these days, YouTubers think they're gaming gods, and they have this ego, and you think to yourself, what did you do to earn this ego? You got a couple of followers, you get a couple of views. Doesn't make you famous. It doesn't make you a god. And then you wonder how their life is in real life. Do they, and we always know how that is, because if they're acting like this online, it's because they don't get it in real life. That respect in real life, the lines start to blend. And then they blur further, and you don't know which one is, reality or fantasy. And that's why people, as we all see, not sure if trolling or what, now you know why. This is a problem. And for people to just disregard it, when we should really have a really healthy discussion about this, it's kind of sad. It's disappointing. Like I said, you can't keep deflecting and keeping your head in the sand and saying, oh, this is just a garbage report. No, sometimes you have to take it head on and say, hey, and go right after, hey, media, no, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you why, this. This is why you need to, to talk to us. Don't just do your little studies, but actually communicate with gamers in the community and see how it can be built. I've told you before how charities have walked away because of the behavior of gamers. And we'll talk about charities later. Okay? But also understand, this is something, the internet is what you make of it. You built this. This community is built off of every single gamer. When you act a fool and somebody calls you on it, don't just be like, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm the victim. You've got to be kidding me. That is just, look, for years I have tried to talk to some of you. I've tried to reason with some of you. I've reached out to some of you. All right? I've even tried to compromise with some of you. And still it wasn't enough. So then when I start showing things and showing the truth of how you really are, then it's, why'd you do that? You're a bad guy for showing it. What? Really? Like, it's very disappointing to see how people are just reacting. I'm sure as I'm saying this right now, you're all, there's people who are going to be like, fuck him. And there's people who are going to be like, no, he's making a lot of sense. And there's people like, no, we need to compromise. There's going to be a number of people, because as individuals, we always have our own opinions. And then you're going to have those people who keep pandering to this troll shit and hate shit and just, I'm just going to hit this like button, I'm going to troll you. And all. You're going to have that. Because no one really wants to sit down and deal with this. It's sad. I'm not going to read any more of the article. All right. I just feel as though it's sad that we have a lot of grown-ass men and women acting as if what they're describing, acting like this. We all know what online trolling we know, and they come up with some rare cases about loving to physically hurt people, liking to physically hurt people. All right, we know in 99% of those cases, online trolling, they're not doing that in real life. They're not hurting anybody in real life, physically. We know that. I think that is a horrible, like I said, it's very unfair of the phrases they give, but you also can see why they did it that way. I don't know. And for the media and researchers to call online trolls sadists, I put it like this. For years, you have talked about how gamers are killers and rapists, and the gaming industry are influencing these type of behaviors, so they should be locked up or they should ban violent games. And it's sad to see that kids are being targeted. Kids. We're not just talking adults. Gamers in general. Kids as well. You're targeting kids and calling them killers and calling them sadists because they're playing video games. Right? That's real sadism right there, if you ask me. That's disgusting. However, we have mass murderers who you keep putting into the limelight. You want to write books about them. You want to, you want to find out what's in his head or her head. You've got to be kidding me. Mass murderers should not be left. It shouldn't be left to say anything. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, not too long ago, a mass murderer came out and said that video games need to be better. First off, why the hell is a mass murderer even commenting about video games needing to be better? He should not even have a voice right now. But yet, that was a report too. And speaking of how this affects the community even more, for those who don't know, a 17-year-old kid not too long ago was shot opening his door by a police officer because she thought he was holding a gun and he was actually holding a Wiimote. Now, link will be in the info bar. Understand also video. In that link, there's a video of testimony and everything of how everything went down will be in that info bar. Okay? The police officer knocked on the door. The kid walked over, who was a ROTC student, walked over to the door and said, "Who is it?" Like your parents teach you. You don't open the door until you find out who it is. However, the cops never said anything. So when the kid opened the door, as soon as he opened the door, as the witness says in the video, point blank range, bam, done. There was no warning. No, put down your gun. If you thought it was a gun, no, put down your gun. Nothing. The kid is holding a Wiimote. And they said that there's probably some more evidence, but they can't release that right now. And that maybe kids were playing, the kids were playing games, knocking on each other's door, and all. I'm not trying to hear that. He had a Wiimote in his hand. The female officer obviously mistook it for a gun, shot him point blank range, no warning, no nothing. Now, I'm sure we're going to have people come in and say, well, as a cop, it's about their safety first, and then we can sit here and say, but they still have to follow protocol. It was a judgment call that was bad. She has been put on, leave right now, as all cops do when they shoot somebody. They're put on leave, and then they'll get a desk job for a little bit and see how they go from there. Will she lose her job? I really doubt she will. But a kid has lost his life because he had a Wiimote in his hand and opened the door. That is sad. But we can sit here and we can argue about what game we like, I like, and you don't like, and things of that nature, and we can have a heated argument over that. But we can't sit and talk about this. I don't get it, man. It's sad. And we've seen way too many of these things as itself, whether it's gamers dying or gamers killing themselves. We go back to Drew Wario. There was another guy just not too long ago on a stream who was mutilating himself on stream, and people are trying to stop this dude. Like, what the hell's going on in our community, man? It seems like ever since 2014 hit, everyone has just gone batshit crazy. I don't understand it. But I will say that I don't want to move on from that because there's a charity today, actually, that's going on. I want to talk about this. While in the midst of all the things and the chaos that was going on yesterday, I actually got this email from one of you fine people. And you say, hello, event. It says, a few of my friends and I are doing a charity live stream tomorrow. This is details below. I'll talk about that. We will be raising money for 2 different charities, Special Effect and Brain Tumor Research. It says, gamers across the UK will be raising money for the Special Effect to help people with special needs enjoy and play video games. So it's for people with special needs, okay? It says, however, the second charity we are raising money for is for a more personal project, as one of our channel members was diagnosed with a brain tumor earlier this year. It says, the shock of the event spurred us into emotion and supported this second charity as a part of our live stream with the permission of the organizers. Okay? It says, to watch and tune into our Twitch channel, the stream will start at 7 a.m. on Friday and run until about 9 a.m. on Saturday. The times are, it says GMT. It says, sorry for not being familiar with the U.S. time zones. People, I will put the links in the info bar for the Twitch TV that's going on, and I will put it for the fundraising as well. All right? Now, understand, people, see, it's funny how if I'm deemed such a bad guy, you know, I'm the only person in years that constantly steps to the plate when it comes to charities, or, you know, someone's family is having a problem, and I will speak on these issues. There are also other YouTubers as well, like Athene, you know, who has changed his stripes a bit, who does a lot of charity work as well. There are so many charities out there. I'm still baffled on how the gaming industry has not structured this. I don't understand this. Gamers are going out on their own, or trying to reach out and trying to do things for charity. The gaming industry should understand that this is a big step for gaming. Gamers have found the enzyme for AIDS. They have raised so much money for cancer research, for lupus, and whatever other cause, to feed the homeless. I don't understand how the gaming industry does not step in and say, look, we're going to give you pretty much the structure, you know what I mean, an umbrella sort of, where you can contact these companies and see if they're, you know, for child's play. Things, you understand, people, there are so many charities out there that people try to play for, or either denied, or they just go rogue on their own and say, hey, whatever you donate, I will donate to them. You know what I mean? Because they can't get that, you know, that sponsorship. Understand, this is something that the game industry should have done by now. And it does reek of immaturity. It does. Every once in a while, you know, you'll see, you know, a sponsor here and there come out and say, yeah, we're going to sponsor you, you know, for this charity. But it's also because they got their name on everything. It's never truly about the cause for the gaming industry. So while you have people like Cliffy B, who still wants to sit around and act like some dude bro, it's like, guy, don't you ever grow the fuck up? For real? While you have all these guys acting narcissistic, not just on YouTube, but developers as well, because they sold a couple games. The fuck? You sold a couple games. Y'all act like you discovered some new planet or something. Like, come on, man. Like, it's just disappointing to see. And like I said, this is just the start of things to come. I got a lot more to show y'all next week. Because like I said, at this point, you step on the gas and you keep going. There's no backing down. I understand a lot of you people keep saying, you know, event, sometimes you just gotta, you know, not pay them any attention. But that's the thing. Like some of you have also said, there's too many people acting like this. And the people who act like that get more attention for acting like idiots in the community and are being spotted by these people who are watching us than those who are trying to be conscious and trying to bring people together. I told you before, they want to keep us separated and divide and conquer so that they can make money and sell product, to where YouTubers divide and conquer for fame. If you want to be famous, take your ass to Hollywood. You're not going to get famous here. Some of you act like you're famous because you got a couple thousand viewers. You do realize there's YouTubers on here who have millions of viewers, right? You're not famous. Stop.